You know, in my television show, The Piano Guy, I've always had an issue with trying to get people to this first level of understanding what reading music notation is all about. And with the Piano Wizard, I think I finally found something that's going to be a great tool for getting absolute beginners to a point where they can read pretty darn quickly. Look at what we're dealing with iPods and computers and whatnot. It's not real shocking to me that kids aren't real excited about sitting down behind an acoustic piano and trying to work their way through figuring out how to read notes. So the ability of Piano Wizard to instantly engage someone at that age level, I think is a vital help. And it's a non-threatening way to say, look, we're going to, whether you know it or not, you're going to end up learning about music notation. But to do it through this non-threatening, very familiar to them game-like setting, I think is very valuable. I'm very excited that Piano Wizard is going to fill this gap for me, so that someone says, look, I have never in my life looked at a piece of music. I have never in my life been in a band or a choir. Where do I get started? I can say, look, do this for a few hours, get to the point where you can understand what that one-note melody line is, and once you get there, you're off to the races and you can take off and do what we're talking about. When I look at the software, it seems to me there's a really logical progression from knowing absolutely nothing about music to getting to a point where you're actually seeing notation. There's a difference between music notation and music. And music is what you really play. Music notation is a way to record what you're trying to play. That smoothness of that progression is very impressive to me. That's not a simple thing to do from a teaching standpoint. I've tried in the past to make that connection with someone, that these round dots and lines and all that have any connection with the real world, or what the notes are on a piano. I think the Piano Wizard mode, where the notes are coming up, where they're moving vertically as opposed to horizontally, is going to be a fantastically faster way for someone to relate to where something is on a staff, connecting to where that equates to a key on a piano. The difficulty becomes then shifting that to the horizontal mode. And I've never seen, and I really think it's kind of the key to the development of this thing, I've never seen someone make that connection as smoothly as the Piano Wizard. I think that's a very logical connection to say, look, we're not changing anything about this, we're just shifting it. And the minute you shift it to that horizontal plane, you've got someone connecting the dots with, wow, that's music notation. Now I get it. That space, that line equals this note on a piano. And I think that's a very smooth and logical way to go about it, and I've never seen anybody approach it that way before. I think Piano Wizard is very educational in a very hidden way. It's a very smooth transition to get someone who has absolutely no idea what music notation is all about to a point where they not only understand it, but they really internally get it. Although some of the game-like features may seem a little elementary for someone who's played for a while, to be able to see that progression from absolutely no music, just a game, dots flowing along the screen, to turning it sideways, turning it into music, learning about rhythmic values, learning about placement, all those type of issues. It's very impressive to me, the smoothness with which that transition takes place. Look, this is really clicking with people. Someone isn't just doing this out of drudgery and saying, oh, gee, I need to go practice another half an hour today. They're sitting down and saying, yeah, I'm lost in this thing. And that's exactly what you want to happen, I think, so that the time does go quickly, and it quits becoming practicing and turns into playing quicker. I think the ability for someone to get a taste of being a music maker right away is really enticing. You're not working from this beginning thing of, wow, I've got to go out and work. It's not this, digging ditches feeling about sitting down and say, I've got to go pay my dues, I've got to go spend the hours to get to a point where I can have some fun on a piano. Rather, it's, this is a logical next step from all this fun I was already having on the computer. Now I can just take it to my keyboard. I already know how to do this stuff. Hey, look, I've already remembered this melody line. I was doing it while I was, playing this game. The problem with a lot of beginning piano students is they go out, they take some lessons, they go through this traditional routine for months, and they're still not playing anything they want to play. And I think anything you can do to give somebody a taste of it quicker, that they get a feel for what it's worth, and then the fire is lit, and then the snowball's rolling down the hill. And that's what I think that Piano Wizard is going to allow me to do with my students, with my customers, people that say, I'm not at a point where I know how to read notation. Help. And I'll say, I got your help right here. Especially in the case of Piano Wizard with some smaller children, which I have not had success with because there hasn't been anything like this available. I think that to get a smaller child to that point quicker is going to be magic. I just find that the smoothness with which the progression moves from absolutely no notation to, wow, you mean this is really what all these symbols mean? It makes a lot of sense to me.